lesbian empty nester. Yes. And before that, I was a lesbian soccer mom. And before that, say it with me, I was happy. It's all really different now. You might notice too, I'm a hybrid. I am biracial. I am 1/2 Japanese, 1/4 German, and 1/4 Swedish. I am like sashimi with a side of schnitzel, okay? I am Asian, but sadly, I'm just white enough to be aging poorly. There's not a shit ton I can do about that. So my partner and I, we have been together for longer than many of you have been alive, for 31 years, okay? Now, if you were to see us just traipsing around out in the wild, you might think we're a little bit of an odd couple. Because Susan is a white, she's a very white lady. Susan is all of the Sherwin-Williams paint chips of white, She is wedding dress, she is adobe, she is gypsum. She is what we used to call in the gay community a rice queen. And if you promise to keep this between us, I myself have a little bit of a colonizer kink. You young people, you talk about being fetishized is bad, but quite frankly, it's kept me in a lovely standard of living for the last 30 years. You kooky kids. So every once in a while, when she comes home from work, we might do a little John Smith and Pocahontas, And she'll come in and I'll go, you think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. Where are my Disney gays at? Come on! Did you guys know that it was Mel Gibson who voiced John Smith in Pocahontas? That icon of diversity, inclusion, and equity. I do not think he paints with all the colors of the wind, you guys. I do not think that. Speaking of actors, a lot of the comics you see tonight they want to be actors. They aspire to be actors. This is a fantasy. I never allow myself to, I keep thinking I'm gonna fall off of this, okay? This is a fantasy I never allow myself to indulge in, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't think there's a lot of casting directors out there going, bring me the next Asian Roseanne Barr. Nobody is looking for a lesbian Asian DEI Roseanne Barr at this point in time. My husband never takes me anywhere, ever. I'm a domestic goddess. Roseanne Barr scares the shit out of me. Here's a woman who objectively created one of the most influential sitcoms of all time, and a few years later, she is wandering around Austin, Texas with Joe Rogan looking for toddlers to deport. I'm like, Jesus Christ, could that happen to me? I don't know, So if you all will indulge me for just a moment, I'm gonna give you a little comedy inside baseball. A little bit about what it's like to be an Asian comic, Occasionally, I will get approached by a white comic, what I like to refer to as a round eye, if you will. And he will say to me, Mary, I have written this Asian joke, and I do not wish to be canceled. I'm gonna run it by you, and you can tell me if it's cool. My response to this individual will be entirely determined by how I feel about him. Because if he's an asshole, or if he's just looking for my permission to be racist, I will be, oh my God, I love that joke! We love it when you white guys do the accent. Lean in, lean in. You, sir, have a flawless Vietnamese accent. Because fuck that guy. Yes. Anyway, you know, my partner and I, we had quite the journey to becoming parents. I don't know why everything is a journey now, like we were all Frodo Baggins or something, but there you are. We went through 5 rounds of IVF. Yeah, it was a lot of money. It was a great deal of money, because none of that shit is covered. Anyway, so we went through 5 rounds of IVF. The last time we did it, the time that worked, we were quite conservative, and we only transferred 3 embryos. Now, one of those embryos, the doctor pulled me aside. He said, it was the best embryo I ever made. You guys want to talk about an expensive egg? That was a motherfucking expensive egg, okay? And the other 2 were, as you young people like to say, mid, okay? So we threw those up there, we hoped for the best, we went back for an ultrasound, and it was at that point we were well and truly screwed. Because every single one of those embryos implanted and 2 split. I am in a room full of Asians. You can tell me how many that is. Okay? I was pregnant with a basketball team. Okay? It's true. This is really true. And, you know, the truth of the matter is I would not have survived delivering quintuplets. And if any of those babies would have made it, I probably would have left 1 or 2 in a hot car at some point. Ooh, is that the line? Did I find the line? Anyway, but I live in the great state of California, so I had access to tremendous reproductive health care, unlike 1/3 of our sisters around the country. I had a procedure called a selective reduction. What that is a very precise abortion. They do it with an amnio needle because of the timing, they did it on Halloween. And so they strapped me to this table that rotated 360 degrees. I was the Dyke of Frankenstein. And you guys, it worked. I had 2 healthy twin boys. Yeah. One of them is graduating from college this Sunday. Anyway, but it did leave me with one intrusive thought. Now, you guys know what an intrusive thought is, right? It's like on a railroad track in your head that you just, like, decade after decade. And the thought is, I don't know if the doctor left the best 2 in there. If you were to see my knuckle draggers, you might agree. They're not even gay, for Christ's sake. I took them to all the brunches. Horrifyingly, one of them is blonde. I love him. I do make him walk 5 paces behind me. But I do love him. You guys, you know, I might look fairly mild-mannered or whatever, but I am a lady who has had 2 dicks in her at the same time. For 9 goddamn months. I don't recommend it. 0 stars. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.